Next comes one of the hardest parts of being an artist. It's time to make some decisions. I'm going to fill this up with pre-sorted, I pre-sorted them, Lego parts. I sorted them all down from a bunch I bought from eBay to the sizes I need. I think I want a flat solid in here first before I put any Lego parts into it. So that's going to require pouring it and laying it out and waiting until the next day. I hate to waste time, and I advise you not to waste time. If you're working with this material, you need to have other art projects or putting in a shower or something like that. So here's one of my tiny disaster pieces. This is an airplane crashed into a lake, and the lake is made of the epoxy resin. You see it has reflected clouds in it. It's a three-dimensional kind of piece. So I have more work to do on it. So I'll probably be working on it while this resin is hardening over a 24-hour period. If you lay this in here and you decide that you'd like to throw in dog hair, or in this case these Lego parts, and you want to get it in there so it sticks like it did here before it's dry, you can come to your studio at about say 5 hours after you've laid it out, and you can start dropping the pieces or the dog hair into it, and it will be stuck by morning. It takes 72 hours for this stuff to harden completely into the form that it is here. Even then, it's not as hard as the polyester resin, so I'm careful with it even before I polish it or anything. With a soft cloth, I usually blow any dust off of it, because dust particles, when you rub the rag over it, will scratch it. And the idea is to keep it this beautiful white surface. As an example of the artistic decision dilemma, I've decided that I need something right here. Now, I have two possibilities. There's this one, which is totally out of character for the rest of the piece. Or there is this one, the crafty decision based on ideas such as bringing a color that already exists into the piece. Or you might say, leave it alone, it was good enough. Well, I can't leave it alone. That's beautiful. This is dangerous. So you decide which one it should be, but you don't get to actually tell me, because I'm going to decide that in the next few seconds, and then you'll see. So I went with the artless, gutless, hobby-like decision. After all, I didn't have the bravery to put that big white thing in there. I just want to show you briefly. This is part B with the black cap. This is part A with the white. The A is the resin. So I'm going to pour the part B into the part A and mix it with this stick. You're supposed to, if you look at any other videos, weigh the two things with a little scale. I don't do that. I just line them up and make sure they're even. What I've discovered is the important thing, that is so that it will harden, is when you mix it together. I'll pour this into it. When you're stirring, make sure you keep stirring the sides of the cup. Now I'm talking about after you get them both in there together. And then I'm going to keep stirring around the sides for about 3 minutes. So as you can see now, this material has gotten milky in color. And now I'm going to take this liquid acrylic, squirt some in there, and start mixing that. So I'm going to end up with a solid white mixture that I decided on white, by the way. I'm going to pour into the bottom of that rectangle in the piece that I'm working on. So here we go. I'm going to pour this in here, just kind of evenly all over the place. All right, I'm using one of these chip brushes, which aren't the best things in the world. I'm going to try to get it up to the edge. And the reason I say they're not great is they always deposit little hairs in there. So at some point, I usually go in with a little tool I've made out of coat hanger wires that I sharpened and pull out any little hairs I see. Now, when I lift this brush away also, I don't want that to drip, so I'm going to hold a piece of paper towel here. I don't know if you'll see this in the filming or not, but you certainly will see it with the naked eye. When you pass this flame over the surface, all the little tiny micro bubbles will pop away, and this will start to smooth out. And I might add that, and by the way, you don't want to do this too long. That's enough, because it'll catch on fire. This is the tool that I made from the coat hanger wire. So I'm going to lift that out of there and put it on this paper towel. And that's done. The two little dark spots that show up in there are drops of polyester resin that are underneath there. Again, I mean, if I had cared about it very much, I could have taken a knife and cut that away or sanded it down. But it doesn't matter because it's going to get covered up. So that's polyester resin showing through beneath the epoxy resin.